At some point, I almost talked about INEC, but I was restraining myself. I said, man, I don't want to get into this because it's really annoying. Looking at the stage we believe we've gotten to as a people, and then we have a few human beings who want to take us for a ride, who feel they can get away with just about anything. So you have the INEC that is obviously controlled by the government. And sometimes I still wonder, in 2023, why do we have an INEC that is led by people who are appointed by a president who could be standing for re-election, or who could be presenting somebody for election? So you see, the first lie in INEC is the word independent. You can't call it an independent National Electoral Commission, because it's not. Obviously, it's influenced, and we can see how that plays out with a national election that had overwhelming number of persons go out to vote. And then like one of the persons who observed the election said, he said they did not come to Nigeria to observe elections, they observed crime, committed with reckless abandon. So you have those thugs intimidating people, you have the vote buyers, you have the ballot box snatchers, and not a single person has been held responsible. Not a single arrest was made. Nobody's answering any questions. The INEC chairman has not lost his job. Nobody in INEC has been punished, and we're seeing all the mutilations that's happened. Like, in this age and time, there's a limit to what you can do without people noticing. We're way too educated and all that, but obviously, we still live in the Nigeria of 1922. Obviously, we still live in the Nigeria of 1922. We still operate constitution as antiquated as what they had in 1922. Is not any better, because the results are still pretty much the same as what we had back in the days. And this is what the likes of Zeke fought, because how can you nominate people to the assembly? And that's kind of the kind of politics we've had in Enugu, we've had in Lagos, we've had in a lot of cities where, like, Enugu has been run by the PDP. Once the PDP gives you a ticket to run for any office, people congratulate you. Congratulations. And then in Igbo, they say, Ojebego. That means he's gone. It's as good as a done deal. So once they give you a ticket, you're already in the house, you're already in the parliament. And then people who earn their seats in this manner, they owe no allegiance to the people. They don't feel that they should perform, or they should do. In fact, their only job is to please whomsoever put them in power. And so what Zeke fought, and what we're still fighting, is a battle for our lives, is a battle to save the soul of the country. It's a battle for our voices, so that the things that we want, the things that we say, can be respected. And well, eventually, after a lot of fights, they would get a new constitution in 1945, and then it was then Zeke ran for election in Lagos. He ran for the Lagos Parliament, actually for the Western region.
I say
Because then,
okay, regional parliament.
yes, for the regional parliament. So he contested in Lagos and he won. Now, that is funny, because if you look at the Nigeria of today, and you say an Igbo man wants to go to parliament in the West, in Yoruba land, like the battle they're having in Lagos right now is that on Saturday, people should not vote for a certain candidate who is a Lagosian by birth, is an indigene of Lagos, but his mother is an Igbo woman. And they say, his name is Chinedu. You people should not vote for him. He's Igbo, even though his father is a Yoruba man whose family has lived in Lagos for hundreds of years, like with a documented history all the way back to the colonial times. Because this guy, one of his ancestors was the first chief judge of Lagos, I think. So when we play this, in fact, when you look at where we were in 1947 and where we are today in 2023, we have progressively moved backwards. We've retrogressed. we weren't this bad in 1947. Igbo people could run for elections in Western Parliament and win.
It's really so absurd. Anyway, I have a lot of things I would just like to ask there, but it will take the argument away from this one. So we'll probably have to come back for it because it's really so absurd. Because
Hmm.
if this is a country, what we call Nigeria, it really shouldn't mean that because you are an Hausa, you come from Kano, you cannot run for election in Edo State. It is stupid.
Yes.
If you are a citizen of this country and you live in Edo State,
Hmm.
and you are supposed to have the right to be able to run to govern the people of Edo State. If
Hmm.
not, what right do we have to go to London? I want to become the mayor of London.
Yeah.
You move away, you move as a Yoruba person, you come to a country in Europe, you wanted to elect you as a mayor. And now you are telling me that somebody is coming from Enugu in the same country, having the same passport, is not qualified to be a governor in your state. Are you in this world? Anyway, like I said, we can really talk about that argument. It's very important, but we will really take an episode on that. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about publication again.
Hmm.
How did Dr. Zik got into publication? I mean, how did he find that there was power in there that he explored? He really explored that power a lot, and it's probably what led him into becoming the first president of the country because information is powerful.
Hmm. And I think, when I was reading up on Sikh, I realized why other politicians want to own media houses. Because they realized that the single power that Zeke had over the colonial masters was his ability to write and put information out there so that the world can see. And that did the magic. I don't know what informed Zeke to study communication, because then there are lots of other courses he could have studied: law or medicine or music or arts or just about any other thing. But for some reasons best known to him, he chose to study communication, and he did a really good job at it. Because then the words that Zeke wrote were terror to the colonialists, and I'm sure they looked forward to looking at his publication, not because they enjoyed them, but because they wanted to know if the country was still under their control or not. So Zeke, I think, understood this very early in life, and this is a skill that he took. He used this to the highest, because one would imagine that after the after the independence, that a man like Zeke would stop to write, but it seemed this was only just a part of who he was. He was a man who loved to express himself, a man who would not be silenced, and someone who just loved to give as much information as he possibly could. Unfortunately, like you said, we should have all the writings and books and speeches of Zeke at our beck and call. We should have studied these in school, but no. Uh, if you want to find them, you have to really go searching. It's like going for treasure hunts, more or less, because those writings are deliberately not readily available. Because we come from a country where we don't care about our founding fathers, and we don't care about knowledge or learning or all of that. But I'm not quite sure where Zeke picked up his love for writing, or at what point he realized that it was going to be a really powerful force that, would to a very large extent, determine what becomes of Nigeria. But that's a power he used really well, and the results that he achieved are pretty obvious. And I think we're glad he did, because no one else was going to match that energy among the founding fathers. I don't think anyone else matched the energy of Zeke when it came to writing and intimidating the colonial masters.